Well, shoot, I don't know about you, but I could just listen to this music for a while more. I kind of thought, hey, let me just let it play longer, and that's a little too fast for me now. I don't know. I like the EDM. I like the techno. I like the I like this stuff. Like I was always a techno kid growing up in the '90s. It's funny. I woke up this morning. Fat Boy Slim was in my head. Praise you. I literally had the rhythm of Praise You, just in my head for the first hour before I got going. I started like singing it in the shower, and my wife was making fun of me. True story, 100%. And so yeah, welcome to my world. Hey, Jeff here with the Church Digital. I'm excited about today. We got Fat Cap coming in. We got Stacy as well. Stacy giving a shout out here. Hey, hey. Nothing like hey, hey. Coming in from the East Coast. Flat Cap. I'm listening to DJ Soto's AI album. That's interesting. I hadn't heard that, and so I need to. I saw you talking about some of that online. I'll have to check that out. It's crazy. We live in this crazy world, man, where AI was supposed to do the menial jobs to allow more creativity among people. Yet somehow we ended up where AI is doing all the artistic jobs, and people are like, well, what am I supposed to do now? Like, that's a whole other conversation for a different day. Not going to get there today, but oh my gosh, we are, it's the new world. So welcome. Glad you're here. Hey, it's 2025. It is 2025. I think it's 2025. Okay, let's do this. Purple Disco Machine. I'll have to listen to that. Stacy, send me a link on that. This is you are using a language I do not understand. I am not cool. I've always said this publicly. I am not the cool kid. I play a cool kid on TV. Stacy is by far. I was a radio DJ out of choice, but not really the good one. They kind of buried me. They gave me like the night shift, 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., where I hung out with a bunch of like psychos, which was awesome. It's a bunch of psychos who listen to radio at like 2 in the morning on weekends. I'm just saying, like, it's the party crowd. You may be the party crowd. The party crowd was listening to this stuff, and so that's one of the reasons why I love it. I'm going down a road I do not want to go down today. Stacy, stop it! Stop it! Let me not go down this road because I want to talk about something today. I'm excited about today. God bless you all. I am going to be talking. I'm going to be doing so much 25 things for 2025. I don't know about you, but I am jacked up excited about 2025. And I was telling my wife, and I was telling some of the crowd, like, I have not been this excited heading into a new year. Like, things are just clicking. There's so much excitement. There's so much opportunity. The path is so clear. I have so much excitement. I need to drink coffee to sustain. No, I'm kidding. But I am just so excited about the road that we're on with the Church Digital. And so I was trying to think yesterday, what do I want to talk about? 5 promises. Let's do 5 promises. The Church Digital 5 TCD promises for 2025. And I just sat down at the keyboard trying to knock out 5 promises of 2025. And when I got to about 18, I realized, okay, I'm thinking too small. And it's time to expand my vision. And so I got to 25 promises of 2025 and realized, hey, it's a pretty good number. I'm glad where we are with this. So we're going to go ahead and roll with it. 25 promises for 2025. Are you ready? I'm ready. Stacy, Flatcap, others in the room hanging out. If you got questions, throw them in chat. I want to hear from you as we're wrestling through 25 ways the Church Digital is going to impact you in your ministry in 2025. Like, let's get real. Let's take it down. Let's tell Stream Beats to take it down a little bit here. He's kind of doing it for me a little bit. I can feel it in the background. Come on, keep it low, keep it chill here for a second, bro. Okay, all right, very good. Oh my gosh, you the organ in the background. We're there. We're feeling this. Hey, tall, skinny Kiwi. Hey, everybody. We want to help your ministry in 25, and it's gonna happen. Like, if the church digital is not helping your ministry happen, dang it, it's not because we're not trying. Like, engage with us. But there's 25 ways we're going to be able to get connected and to help your ministry take next steps in 2025. And so let's get into this. I'm gonna fly through these. If you like something, you got questions, throw it in chat. We'll dig into it. But here we go. 25 promises of TCD in 2025. Number one, oh my gosh, the music just stopped right there. It's beautiful. Number one, more mind-blowing concepts from the TCD. Number one, more mind-blowing concepts from the TCD team. I tell you what, it's so funny. People are like, Jeff, you must be so innovative. Jeff, how do you come up with these ideas? Jeff, it ain't me, people. Like, and this is not like humble brag. This is legitimate. I sit around and Barbara Carnero, Jason Morris, Andy Mage, Leighton, they come up with questions, they come up with ideas, they come up with challenging concepts. I'm just the loudmouth jerk that like tries, okay, I'll say that. I'll be the rebel. Okay, some of the stuff I say, like I want to own. The church is a coward. Okay, that was me. So if you're going to send a hate mail, send that to me. But a lot of this stuff, oh my gosh, is coming from them. Platforms as places, JMO, rolling that out. All the archetype stuff that Barbara talks about. If you've not listened to Barbara talk about the archetypes and how the different types of people there are influences you and influences your ministry in your aim, niching small, niche casting. That's going to be my word for 25 is niche casting. Oh my gosh, so good. And so stay tuned for more mind-blowing concepts. Okay, that was like the softball pitch. That's the easy one. We're going to get into this. Hey, you know what? Number two, the second promise of TCD in 25, we're going to be hitting more connection points. Okay, so we the Church Digital, we're following the same framework that we challenge everybody else to. We're connecting with people at a superficial level. Blogs, podcasts, YouTube, streaming on YouTube, conferences. We are connecting and building relationships, even in physical space. We're connecting with people with the hopes of getting them into our community to build a relationship so that we can encourage them to be a digital missionary. We're doing the same framework that we're telling you all to do. Shh, don't tell anybody. And for us, we want to connect with more people at a higher level. What does that look like? We'll get into some of that here in a little bit. But I mean, just even the fact that we're in the countries that we are, like there's an opportunity. What does the Church Digital look like in Espanol? In Mandarin Chinese? In insert language here. What is the Church Digital? What's the Nigerian version of the Church Digital really look like? Oh yes, Sarah's jumping in here. Barbara talking about archetypes is mind blowing. It is so freaking good. And you know what? Even as we've got this team together, we're trying to figure out how do we get the Church Digital in front of a new audience. The U.S. based kind of digital missionary forward facing, like there's opportunities there. Some of the stuff we're doing is great, but there's still stuff on the table. There's still opportunities outside of that. And so how do we connect with more people in different ways digitally? Number three, 25 ways the Church Digital is going to, promises for the Church Digital that we're supporting your ministry. We're going to be creating new communities in 25 with new focus. Remember, connect to community, right? Community right here. This is where the relationships, in your church, this is where you're building relationships, this is where you're establishing trust. In community is where you're seeing evangelism, digital discipleship. You're seeing that function real well in that community context. And so for us, we've got Discord. Love me some Discord. WhatsApp. I love WhatsApp too. I never thought I'd say it. I do. It's funny. We're even just talking about like my son is going to be getting a WhatsApp account, and so we are a strong WhatsApp believer, but we are going to start to expand into new communities. That may be more platforms, that may be more different focus of the communities, but there's an opportunity to not stay where we are as much as to multiply and expand. Even to the point where we're having serious conversations with like globally recognized organizations about coming alongside them and helping them build communities. And what would it look like for the Church Digital to help other organizations understand how to utilize digital community? Like, this is the focus of what we're trying to do with the Church Digital, is get to this place of where one of the promises we're going to do, number 3 here, is create new communities with a new focus. Number 4, this one took a little bit to get through, but I think we got everybody lined up. We're going to do new formats for equipping digital missionaries. Now you all know this, and it's interesting. Sarah and some of the Word Revolution team, they don't even know about this, and so like I kind of was like, I don't know that I don't want to like hurt anybody when I say this. By the way, seriously, on these 25 promises, a couple of these make it cut from the VOD. So if you're watching it live, congratulations. You're going to see the unedited, the unfiltered version. If we get all the way through this thing and I don't have to make any cuts, I'm going to be surprised, because a couple of these towards the end is going to be like, did he just say that? Yeah, he did just say that. Number 4 is we're going to come out with some new formats for EDM. Now, we've got this is the inside scoop, baby. Like, you come in, you listen, you get the raw stuff. The 12-week cohort has been awesome. We're at, I think, week 7, week 8. I'm meeting with my cohort in like 2 hours, as a matter of fact. I'm going to take a break after the stream, and then I'm teaching through with them now. And we're coming up, and we're doing the cohorts for equipping digital missionaries right now, starting in January, later this month. We're going to be doing Oceania, we're going to be doing Nigeria, and I'll probably do 1 or 2. I'm looking at just signups in the U.S. If you're interested in the course, in the cohorts, theChurch.digital/EDM, theChurch.digital/EDM for equipping digital missionaries. It's a great course. Now, and we'll get more into that here in a little bit. Now, here's the deal. Here's what we've discovered. The way that we're doing the course, the cohort, the 12-week, and I knew this, but I wanted to actually see somebody say something. That does not work in all contexts. And as we started working with some of our Indian friends in Southeast Asia, we discovered that, hey, you know what? The orality of the culture doesn't work real well with the asynchronous methods we were using for the cohorts. And so they asked, can we come out with some other models? And so the answer is, well, of course. And so we're actually going to be offering this is an inside scoop, I told you. We're going to be offering a coaching type model where it's a couple coaching sessions tied into the material. It's the same concepts, it's the same materials, but we're just making it available in different formats. Some people would rather break it down slowly and have like a group to process it in. Some would rather binge and process alone, but still be part of a larger community. And so in the end, at the end of the day, at least for me, I don't care as much as it is how what you do with this information once it's done. Like, I'll tell anybody anything. I want to know what they're doing after the fact, how it's impacting the kingdom. That's the thing that interests me. And so number 4, we've got new formats for EDM. Looking at the time here, oh my gosh, it's going to be a long stream because I can't shut up. I'm too wordy. 25 was interesting. Number 5, fifth of the way there. Another mic drop moment here. We're going to be doing, I think I may have said this publicly. I don't know. I talk so much in so many different audiences. I don't know who knows what, honestly. So roll with me if you've heard this before. Number 5 promises for 2025. We will come out with new cohorts beyond equipping digital missionaries. There are things that we're talking about that go beyond just the equipping digital missionaries material and the cohort it is. Like I love what EDM is, and to be honest, we're still building it out. I recorded one of my sessions this morning for week 10, but the place where we want to go with this thing is much more. In addition to what we're doing with EDM, we want to get to the place where we're providing other learning opportunities, and that's, honestly, like I mean, I guess I'll say this: we're looking at like what's happening with sharing Jesus online. Like the book was incredibly, honestly, like unbeknownst to me, I wrote the thing, and organizations are running it, exponentials doing their thing with it, and I blinked. I did a Google search on it the other day, and like, there's like sharing Jesus online reviews in like China, walking through how to do this in a Chinese environment, and like the missional impact globally. There were 3 or 4 countries. Philippines was one. Where people are adapting the sharing Jesus online mentality into the mission models globally. And it's starting to get me asking questions like, can we do this more intentionally? And the funny thing is, I love this. Dr. John and I actually shot, this is the secret. Dr. John and I actually, he wrote the book with me, Sharing Jesus Online. We actually already shot the course, the cohort, the material. We got in a video studio with Andy Mage like 2 years ago, and shot the course. And I got sick and took a break, and never, honestly, never compiled the thing together. And so, yeah, guess what? Number 5. We've got new cohorts that we'll be rolling out in 2025 beyond just equipping digital missionaries. We want to help you all. And there's probably some other things we're going to do too, because I'm just so driven. Listen, God told me, help. And whether it's tangible, ethereal, what that looks like, we can get there. But dang it, in 2025, the Church Digital is going to be helping people like you be a digital missionary. Number 6. Outposts for everyone. This is the one that I'm spending the most time on. I love the team that I have with the Church Digital right now because of this. If I look at the connection level, the superficial, the content, getting eyes, building the audience level, Barbara and the Word Revolution team, some of them are watching this, are doing an incredible job. And if you get into community, Andy has built and is managing and maintaining 2 incredible communities, which, by the way, volunteers are diving in and resourcing and owning that as well. And it's beautiful. I actually just had a meeting with Whitebeard, who's coming back and is going to get more involved in the Discord community. It's coming up, and dude's getting married like into the month. And anyway, it's just really is exciting, some of the stuff that's coming on. When you get to equipping, JMO's built this entire, like, I have finally gotten to the place where we can build the bottom of the funnel. Okay, Barbara, it's not a funnel, I understand. But the bottom of the funnel. What's an outpost? And how can that help you in your ministry? What we're trying to do in 30 seconds too late is create regional networks, relational networks, decentralized networks that connect you with people that are in a similar missional context with you. Maybe they're on the same platform as you. Maybe they're reaching the same geographical area as you, and give you the opportunity to be encouraged in ministry, to explore new ideas, to experiment with new techniques, and to be empowered in the ministry that you're already doing while learning on how to do it better. Like this is the accountability that we want to create at a much smaller level. As the Church Digital gets bigger, and Lord, please let this get bigger, we want to create opportunities for it to be much smaller. And the smaller, the intimate, the accountability, the hands-on, that's coming through the outposts. And so, and that's that mobilization piece. That's the bottom. Connect, community, equip, mobilize. We finally got there. And so we are building that model out right now. And Here's the secret. You want to get that relational network. You want to be a part of this, and we're going to talk about them. You want all the benefits of what comes with the Outpost, and there are a lot. You want to go through equipping digital missionaries. You want to get to the relational networks. EDM is the front door to get into that. Flatcap knows, he's been with us. You get in an outpost, you get an outpost. I feel like I almost had the Oprah meme. You get an outpost. You get an outpost. You like everybody gets a outpost. Like, could you imagine like being in that where it's like you get a car, and everybody gets a car. I wanna be in that one. Number 7. I've been talking serious. Let's dial it back here a little bit. All right, I have a conviction in my life. Are you ready for this? Number 7. Promise. The 7th promise for the Church Digital in 2025. I work too hard. People are like, Jeff, you work too hard. And you're like, you know what? I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And so we're going to have some fun. I'm going to do a new thing. Leighton, I don't even think you know about this. I'm glad you're in here. I'm doing game time. I'm going to jump on YouTube, and I'm going to stream some online games, and I want you all to come hang out with me. I'll just give you an example. Like I started over Christmas. I was picking my daughter up at their. She had like a Christmas party right before Christmas at her friend's house, and we're mutual friends with the family. And so I walked in the house, and there were like 25 people, and I hate large gatherings in physical space, and 25 was a large gathering, and so I'm like the awkward wallflower. And it's a Hispanic family, and everybody's talking Espanol, and I'm like the sore thumb in the room. And they invited me over because they're playing. Oh my gosh, I forgot the name of the game, but they're playing Jackbox games. Jack in the Box is old computer company from like 20, 30, 40 years ago when I was a kid. And it's evolved into Jackbox, and they were playing Quibbage, something like that. And it's the game where it was a Apple TV game. It was on PS5 as well, but you were like using your phone to interact, and it was so good. It was so cool. It was so much fun, and it was such a relaxing thing just to let go, have fun, and we're gonna do that through the Church Digital. I'm working on the tech now. We'll have it set up by this Friday. But this Friday, we are going to do game time with Jeff. We're going to be hanging out here on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, playing the game. And so you want to jump on screen with me, I'll give you access to do that. You want to play and chat, and you're interacting with the phone, your iPhone or smartphones or web browsers or whatever. Connect with us from across the board. But you want to relax and have some fun with us, do it. We want to hang out with you, and we have some fun. So game time with Jeff is 11:30 a.m. Eastern. 11:30 a.m. Eastern. What is that? 8:30 a.m. Pacific. God bless the California crowd. You get to wake up to me first thing in the morning, grab some coffee, and grab some coffee as I've got my yellow The Church Digital mug. I suddenly realized I'm not wearing a hat. That's weird. I should do that. Okay, number 8, the 8th promise. Number 7 is we're gonna have more fun. Number 6 is more relational connections and outposts. Number 8, more streams, more resourcing, more voices than Jeff. I love the Church Digital. I love hanging out with you all, and I love getting to do stuff like this. But I kind of like the fact that we get to learn from others too. And so we're going to be introducing more voices on the stream. And that's going to be a really, really cool thing. So here's the thing you need to know is we are working really hard on communication, because as we're doing more and more things, I know we're not communicating that well. Check out this webpage, theChurch.digital/calendar. theChurch.digital/calendar. That's going to have all of the events, the streams, all of that's coming up. And so that is a great place to connect and to learn about what's coming up, and to find that it'll adapt to time zones and it's all good. Tall Skinny Kiwi, my friend in New Zealand, who's having a great Wednesday on this Tuesday. Oh, what streams may come. Nice play there. Play on words. I appreciate that. We've got another one coming in. Um, I'm not even going to try to attempt that. I'm the Finnish guy from Discord. Yes, sir. Hey, good morning to you. Finland that's probably what 6-7 hours away, so it's not quite morning time, but have a great Tuesday evening. Thanks for jumping on and hanging out with us on the stream. Love that. You know what? I mean, we got 3 continents at least represented on the stream. This is my point. I can talk digital ministry till I'm blue in the face, and Lord knows I've been talking digital ministry for 25 years at this point, literally, and that's not a joke. And so I can keep going, but I kind of want to hear what Simon Dirks has to say, and I kind of want to hear what Utope has to say, and I love sitting in a room with Tall Skinny Kiwi, and letting him spout stories. Because dude's got more historical context than I do. I think he was, I don't know how it's possible, but somehow Tall Skinny Kiwi was doing digital ministry before the internet even existed. He was on the front lines of that thing. And so, and I would put, oh my gosh, I had an open office with Tall Skinny Kiwi and Whitebeard. And it kind of felt like, the old guy get off my lawn type of thing, the 3 of us together. It really was a surreal moment. Like it just was really cool, the 3 of us together. But that's the thing. It's like I want to create those types of conversations. And so you're going to hear more voices on the Church Digital stream, and more blogs. Like we're going to do blogs. And then number 9, really the thing that I love is more open offices. I have met so many people through the Church Digital that are coming in and really, hey, I connected with you here. I found you on Google. I did things, and being able to jump on a Google Meet and have a one-on-one a conversation, and then get to introduce them to, Stacy or Melanie or Trizzle or some of the other people that have been hanging out. I mean, to be honest, like Trizzle, that was the relationship that I built with Trizzle, was through the open offices. He kept showing up in some of these open offices and talking and building relationships, and we're able to get them connected into EDM for Simon in Europe, Simon Dirks, and like it's very cool to see how this comes together, but how through the open office is the way to do that. And so we're gonna have more voices than just me leading these open offices. Flat Cap is already doing these. He's doing open offices with me, and I appreciate him for doing that. Leadership doesn't know this. Hey, sorry, I'm going to challenge you. We're going to ask the leadership to do open offices, and so they're going to be doing that. We're going to ask the movement leaders, the outpost leaders, the central support team. We're going to be asking them to do open offices, and so there's going to be chances to do a deep dive on different topics. And once again, all that's going to be scheduled and communicated through the communities, through Discord, through WhatsApp, and through the TCD website at theChurch.digital/calendar. Hey, if you're watching on the fringe, if you're an outsider, not really connecting and engaging, if you're watching us if you're reading blogs and podcasts, watching the stream, but you're not in the community, get in the community. Come in. Be a part of something bigger. And get relationally connected with us here. By the way, I have a stalker. I have what's the word I'm looking for? Identity theft. Somebody on Discord. I just need to disclaim this right now. Somebody on Discord is spoofing my identity. They're using my same ID photo. And they have it's my name. My name on Discord is Deerfedge. It's Jeff Reed backwards, DEERFFEJ. And so they're using that same name, but they put a period at the end to make it different. And they're going up to digital missionaries, being pastoral in voice and like encouraging them, supporting them. But then the ultimate goal is the guy's trying to get these digital missionaries to like go into whatever the spiel is, like the invest in their blockchain or crypto thing. And so if somebody asks you to contribute into their crypto with my face, it's not me. Rest assured. If somebody says that, we want you to own the Church Digital, partner with us at theChurch.digital/partner and contribute, investing in us, contributing to us regularly. That's me. That's a legitimate ask from the Church Digital. But if somebody wants you to invest in a blockchain, that's not me. If there's any questions, feel free to hit me up directly. But just know, hey, and it's funny. Andy Mage was like, "Congratulations, Jeff. You've got somebody, stole your identity and running with you directly on Discord." I made it, y'all. Mom, aren't you proud? So good. Yeah, this is so good. It's a mini deer fetch. You know what? I'm gonna, like, in all seriousness here, just take a moment. This is gonna be the longest stream I've ever done. There is no chance I'm gonna get through 25 of these. And what am I on? I'm number 9, and I've been going a half hour. Okay, it's not gonna be my longest stream. I did a 12-hour stream. I can do it in 12 hours. By the way, actually, we're gonna get to what's next on that one here soon. Here's the inside scoop. If the guy actually, like, part of me is a little proud. I've got somebody. I mean, yeah, the guy's an idiot. I'm assuming it's a guy. It could be a girl. Whatever. Like, I'm not making any assumptions. But I have somebody that's being pastoral and missional to people in need and using it as a con to get them to invest. Okay. But the guy is actually smart enough to recognize the opportunity to mentally and emotionally care for others and use it as a con. So yeah, it's a con, but at least he was smart enough to, like, be intelligent about how he's reaching people. That's what I'm like, you know what? Unintentionally, I've got like an apprentice happening here. Like, this is a legitimate thing that's come up as a result of this. Like, there's a mini deer fetch coming from this. And yeah, okay, maybe it's terrible. I do. I agree with you. That is terrible. But yeah, there's worse things. I've had worse things happen to me than this guy is trying to get into that. All right, let's get into number 10. 30 minutes in, we are at 10 of 25. What is that? 40% of the way done. 10 promises in 2025. 10 TCD promises of 2025. 10 ways that we are going to, the 10th way, we're going to help your ministry. Number 9, resourcing open offices. We're going to be available for you to have conversations directly. And the good thing is we've got so many different contexts and specialists in this area through the Church Digital. We're going to be accessible for y'all. Number 10, that was just a recap of number 9. Number 10, what's the span of care for a digital missionary? This has been to be honest, I've spent more time on this one over the past month and a half than probably any other thing I'm going to talk about. And this is the one, honestly, I'm the most excited about. Span of care. We've got people that are, I'm going to tell it a different way. I've talked with 2 or 3 digital missionaries that have been on the ropes over the past years, that have been doing ministry, hardcore ministry, without a support stream up front. And I'll just be honest, I made them cry very quickly, talking about coming alongside them and providing emotional, mental, and spiritual support through the Church Digital. Like, it is an exhausting, and it's just, I don't want to sugarcoat this. Digital ministry is an exhausting attempt. Digital mission work is not easy. It is rife with distraction. It's rife with addiction. It's rife with spiritual warfare. Who is walking with you on this journey? This is a lot of what we talk about inside EDM. And there's stuff in EDM in some of the sessions that I've not said publicly talking about this. And so we want to make sure that our missionaries are cared for and that the people that are connected to our network are cared for. And the ways that we get you into that is through the outposts, where you can provide mental check-ins, quarterly check-ins to check your emotional, mental, and spiritual health, where we can provide a community of support asynchronously, get you into these outposts where there's regular opportunities and relationships that you're able to dialogue in together. Like, we're really investing in the emotional support that is needed to have a missionary go the distance in digital space. And we need your help to get there because we want you to honestly guinea pig for us and help us figure out how to be best effective towards that. I mean, like the stuff you're doing, I've been saying this a lot lately. I'm going to say it later. Like, we want to help this generation of digital missionaries, of digital churches, because we need this generation to succeed for the next one. And so the better you can be, the more helpful we can be for you, the more helpful we're going to be for the next generation coming up. As you succeed, so will my kids. And I want my kids to succeed. So what do you need? Let's get into that. Number 11. Oh, by the way, tall, skinny Kiwi. Distraction. 25 is a lot of promises for 2025. I'm glad it's not 2099. You and me both. I was actually thinking about that. I didn't have my lunch today. It's right here. And as I was not eating my lunch, but I was preparing it, I had the thought, wow, I'm really glad it wasn't like 2,000. 2,000 promises through the church digital. All right, where am I? Number 11, financial support. No, I'm not writing checks. Sorry, I really do. But we have I really do want to. I really, really do. We're not a bank. I wish we were a bank. But you know what? If you invest in my Ponzi scheme that is taking crypto, we can get you connected into. No, I'm kidding. Somebody's going to clip that and make it viral. Financial support. We have met an incredible ministry partner. Whitebeard. I'm sorry. What Flat Cap is going through it now. I'm trying to think who else is on here. I don't think anybody else here is, but some others are talking through it. But we're started working with Reliant. And what Reliant is helps missionaries fundraise. Like you can raise money through Reliant, and Reliant, cuts the check and pays the money through, and they do fundraiser training towards that. And the idea of churches, there's organizational fundraising, and that's a much more complicated thing for an organization to do it. But for an individual that's interested in being part of that, we'll work through us and Reliant to get to the place of where you can fundraise. Like I said, I know Flat Cap is doing that right now, where he's going through the training and through a relationship with Reliant. The work that he's doing through the Church Digital, where he's actually going to fundraise through the Church Digital and Reliant to help him get the money he needs to do that. And so Flat Cap's already pushing. Hey, you know what? If you got questions on Reliant, go ahead and hit him up, and you can do that at the WhatsApp and the Discord. He's easily accessible for that, to ask him about that. But once again, like, to be able to network through to get to Reliant, like, get through EDM. And so if you're not in EDM yet, equipping digital missionaries, theChurch.digital/EDM. Let's get you in there, theChurch.digital/EDM. And one of the benefits of going through EDM and being part of the span of care on the flip side is where we get into the Reliant piece. Number 12, talking about care on the flip side. Number 12, ongoing and growing support from missional partners and TCD volunteers. I was meeting with Kathy Nazier. It used to be her name was Kathy Tate. Kathy Tate, when I first met her, she got married, and I got married a long time ago. But she's still Kathy Tate in my head. Kathy Nazier, and she's one of our project managers working with us here at the Church Digital. And yesterday I gave her the project. I was like, we are updating the website of where all, and we want to list all the partners that we're working with. And she's like, well, how many? So I know how to structure. And I pulled up a Google slide from a slide deck that I'm working on. And it listed in like, okay, to have it fit all in one slide, I had to like make it like size 6 or 7 font. It's really small, but it's like boom, 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 all the way down. It's like a ton of names, man. The organizations that we're working with right now, trying to figure out how to best support you from spiritual direction, soul care, from mental, emotional health, from a spiritual level, from a financial, from an organizational. Like we are trying to rack our brains about how best to support what we're doing with Reliant. That's just the one that's already signed on, and like that was the easy one to go through. There's others that we're still trying to figure out everything, but like we are investing so much time in helping those that are part of the network, that go through EDM, that are part of our outposts. We want to see all of you all succeed, but the sweetness comes once you go through EDM. Once you go through EDM, it's like, hey, you're family. That you're in the inner circle. And so I can't keep beating that drum, man. EDM is so crucial to getting you into the access, to be able to have access into these things. Number 13. Okay, some of you are probably saying, Jeff, why do you love EDM so much? Like, do you only like, do you not care for anybody else? I mean, I do. I don't like that. I want to see everybody succeed. And remember, as everyone succeeds, so will the next generation. And so we need to not just be concerned with the people who are loyal enough to go through EDM, but we also want to help those that maybe aren't exposed to that. And so one of the things we're doing right now, number 13, I started to say prayer request, 13 promises, is tangible resourcing. We want to start helping churches and organizations outside the network too. Now remember, this is the hey, you're getting the early scoop here. Not everybody knows about this. And I don't know how much we're actually going to talk about this publicly, but dang it, why not? And this is actual, if you, Leighton's Flat Cap, Flat Cap's actually, I changed his job title somewhere around Christmas, like the week of Christmas. I was like, hey, Leighton, you're going to do this instead, and it's going to be awesome. And God bless Leighton. Leighton's like, I'm excited, let's go. He's just, diving in full steam ahead, like Leighton does. But it's this idea of tangibly resourcing. Leighton's a great relationships guy. I've always enjoyed the have you met Ted type of thing, and Leighton was always good at playing that playbook, at connecting people together. But I want to just not be a connector. I want the Church Digital to be tangibly resourcing and helping. Pastor Coco's conversation with me on YouTube, where she talked about on Giving Tuesday, where she talked about some of the struggles she's facing in VRMMO. That was a game changer for me, and the hardness of what's happening in this space. As others succeed, so will the next generation. As we succeed, so will the next generation. And so we need to figure out how to get the Pastor Cocos, how to get the Final Fantasies, how to get the virtual realities. We need to figure out how to get these churches to succeed. And so we're wanting to step in and help in that space. If you're struggling, come see us. We need you. The church needs you. The world needs you. God's called you to do something. And we're just here to help. Number 14. How am I doing time-wise? 45, and I'm about halfway through. All right, we're going for a 90-minute stream here. Extra. What they call this? Overtime is free football because you didn't pay for it. Extra innings, overtime. We're going overtime here with the Church Digital stream. 25 promises, TCD promises for you in 25. So we are going to be wrestling a lot with contextualization. And number 14, I'm promising you that we're going to be wrestling a lot with the contextualizations that we interact with physically in place. You've heard Jason, you've heard I talk about platforms as places. Well, there is contextualization in the place aspect, because how you're doing digital ministry to connect with somebody in Germany is going to be different than how you're doing digital ministry to connect with somebody in Nigeria, and how you're doing digital ministry to connect with somebody in, I don't know, the Middle East, just to name a couple spots, versus how you're reaching somebody in America. By the way, even in America, there's generalizations. East Coast versus West Coast. East Coast, Best Coast. Sorry, I know Stacy. West Coast, Best Coast. Or even upper economy, lower economy. Like race comes into play in America. Like, there's so many different ways to contextualize that. We're doing research right now to help better understand the physical contextualizations that we're facing, and we want to document that. Like, it's funny, I joke about what my next book's going to be through the Church Digital. It's going to have something to do with that, the contextualization bit at the place level. And let me get to number 15 real quick. Contextualizations at the platform level too. Because remember, I said platforms as places. Platforms are the new places. We need to validate what the places are and how the places are operating digitally. But really, in digital ministry, it's not about the places, it's about the platforms. Like, the culture that is brought in from an outsider into the digital platform is stronger than the culture that exists within the physical space when doing digital ministry. The culture that exists digitally when you're in the digital environment is stronger than what is existing in the physical environment. Think about that. You can @ me, don't @ me. You can @ Jason Morris in Discord and in WhatsApp, and he would love to have that conversation with you. All right, so here we are, number 15. 14 and 15 was contextualizations. We're really going to be doing a deep dive into this. 14 and 15 was platforms and places, contextualization. Now here's the deal, 16 and 17. This is the one, these are the two. This is what's going to get me fired. Did you hear me? This is it. This is the one that you're going to hear a quick cut. And then I'm going to talk about something completely irrelevant, because what I'm about to tell you is going to get cut out entirely. I'm going to get in trouble for this. You ready? Number 16, the Church Digital is going to do an online conference in spring of 2025. We've been talking about, our friends at Exponential, and I love Exponential. Mark is working, Mark Lutz, and Andy actually is talking with Andy earlier today about this. They're working with Exponential and doing the conference at the Exponentials at Orlando and some of the other regions, and excited about what they're doing and doing the physical connections there. And it's necessary, it's needed in that space. Excited to see that happen. When you look at the scope of what the Church Digital is, we've really outgrown physicality. Like, at one point, maybe one day we'll do a physical thing and try to get everybody together. But I'm realizing, hey, I may never give Yatope a hug this side of heaven. I might never, it's going to be once in a blue moon when I'll see Simon at some mission conference somewhere. And when you get into, Abby and some of the other names of the guys that we're working with and bringing on for to be our outpost leaders, physical is a limiter. So we're going to do a digital conference. We're going to do an online conference, spring of 25, aimed at digital missionaries. We were really close in previous years, and this was back before we had narrowed down on digital missions. We were trying to figure out how to do a digital conference that was digital, physical church, hybrid church, and digital planter and digital missionary at the same time. And just to be honest, everything got confusing. And that's where it's like the simplification of this. And so stay tuned for a digital missionary conference, spring of 2025. I have no idea what it's going to be, but we're going to do it. And since we're talking crazy, number 16, Barbara's going to kill me. We are going to do an online conference, a second one, fall of 2025. I told the board, we put it in our goals. We're going to do 2 online conferences in the year 2025. Different topics, different themes. In my mind, I've already got some ideas. No, I'm not going to tell you. Maybe if somebody would invest, I don't know, $5,000 in my crypto account. No, I'm kidding. The grassroots of this thing is that we want to resource digital missionaries at a global level. And we're going to be figuring out, honestly, I think the spring conference is going to be a guinea pig. We're thinking, at least I'm thinking, some radical ideas, and we got to get the team starting to, on the agenda, I'll be honest, on the staff agendas, we meet weekly. And I usually have like 4 bullets that I want to cover. And, we meet for an hour. And everybody's got agendas. Everybody's busy. Flat Cap's actually, teasing this. He's like, I've been waiting for that. Yeah, I've been waiting for the conference. We have, because for months I've been saying like the 4th bullet on the agenda is conference. The 4th bullet is conference because we've been needing to talk about it. And we would never get through 1, 2, and 3 to be able to get to the 4th one. And it was always last. And so the meeting, we've got a meeting tomorrow. And I think there's 2 bullets. And the second one is the conferences. And so I'm dreaming of some crazy ideas of how to do this. And there's excitement. Stacy's jumping in here. Woohoo! Is that the right way? How do I say it? I never know the intonation of woohoo. This is when I was a tech director at a physical church. The praise slides where people would be like, the ahs and the whatever. I hate it when even churches I would visit now, when people would like type those words out all the way through. But I'm distracting. Tall Skinny Kiwi's very excited about the 2 conferences. I'm excited to get Tall Skinny Kiwi talking at a conference. Tall Skinny Kiwi, you're going to be the first person. I'm actually going to publicly ask you right now on this stream. I want you to speak. I want you to lead a breakout at one of the conferences. I have no idea out of the 5 million things you could talk about what you want to talk about. We're going to figure that out. I'll hit you up later. I want to think outside of the box to do this and figure out how to get voices like Tall Skinny Kiwis audible in front of others. How do I get Tall Skinny Kiwi heard by the world and at the same time give the world the opportunity to interact with each other? That if time zones were not a thing, digital ministry would be simple. Freaking time zones kill it. And so this is what we're trying to do is I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I'm not this. But you use video. You use video to inform. I said this yesterday to Barbara in a meeting about something completely separate. And Barbara's like, I can do that. Like it was a proud moment for me because I lit Barbara's eyes up. Normally Barbara lights my eyes. She says something radical and I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. But I said it. I was like, you use video to inform and instruct. You use asynchronous to process, and you use interaction, huddles, meeting, conversation to apply. And she heard that. And she's like, that's exactly what we're going to do. And she rolled out the show. It was so beautiful. It's like, it's a proud moment for Jeff. I called my mom afterwards. Mommy, guess what? No, I'm kidding. I didn't do that. I may get my mom to do a breakout. No, I don't. Well, don't hold me to that. That's not one of the promises. My mother is not one of the promises of 2025. Where am I? I'm going at an hour, and I've got 8 left. I think we're going to... Oh, my gosh. I was about to say we're going to fly through this. Then I get to number 18. You got the music? Kind of fits with where we're going. I wanted to mix up the soundtrack a little bit because I knew 18 was coming. I don't like this soundtrack. Like Stream Beats, I normally like. This one album I chose, I don't remember. It's a little too rough. It's not chill enough for me. Like I want a music bed. Like I don't like the sharpness of the horns is a little much. Number 18, the 18th promise that we want to help people like you do digital mission work, digital ministry. As I burp, that actually fits for number 18. Did somebody say gaming? Maybe, maybe anybody? Bueller. We want to launch a gaming outpost. You know, we've got these outpost networks. You know, Simon's doing stuff in Europe. I think I've shared this already. Simon's in Europe, Utope's in sub-Saharan South Africa. We're talking to Ebby in Southeast Asia. We're talking to others in the Middle East. We're talking to Adrian down in Oceania in that area, and some others in the space. You know, and so we're creating a foothold that we want to expand into other countries and other regions. Talking incredible conversations right now in South America. It's just taking time, but really excited about what's happening there. And it was funny, my daughter, I told the story, but my daughter asked me the other day before Christmas, Daddy, what's going on with EDM? What's going on with the Church Digital? Tell me. I was driving her to dance. You know, if I want to get my daughter to talk, I drive her to dance, and I've got like 20 minutes just of nothing but her and me talking. It's the best. It's the best moment of my day. And so I was telling her all about these outposts, and I'm proud. I'm like patting myself on the back. It's like, hey, we did it. We're getting a global footprint. Caitlin, isn't this awesome? And Caitlin, you know, looks at me and says, Daddy, I thought you were about platforms instead of places. Why are you copping out and just doing places? Why aren't you doing platforms? Dang kid. She gets that from her mother. You know, challenging, pushing back, being right. And so that's the thing. It's like, you know, we talk about platforms as places, and we're doing all this work and celebrating the work that we're doing in places, and we weren't doing a platform. Okay, gaming's not really a platform. You could say Twitch, but then Twitch really isolates the work that's being done in Final Fantasy, so you could do Twitch and Final Fantasy in-game and streaming, but those are two different environments totally. And what do you do with virtual reality? Like, really, honestly, it should be the metaverse. But metaverse does not really, in 25, encapsulate yet the idea of VR and gaming, because gaming really hasn't enveloped. You see what I'm doing here? Like, the whole gaming ecosystem is raw. It's fluid. Like, there's so much potential in that space. Untapped resources, blue freaking ocean in gaming. Was it one of the largest unreached people groups right now are gamers? Like, oh my gosh. It could be an incredible opportunity. And so we went to the guy and said, hey, the guy, the top guy, and said, hey, how can you help us? What can we do here into gaming? And he said, challenge accepted. Flat Cap is going to launch a gaming outpost to encourage gamers, ministry in the space, to explore new opportunities, to experiment with new techniques and new ideas, and to empower others. I always feel bad. My fourth finger can't really do that. It looks like I'm flicking people off. And to empower. This was a really powerful moment, and I literally just said flick off. So we went to the guy. I'm starting over because this is going to be a story, short. So we went to the guy. Leighton's laughing at me right now. He's like, you freaking moron, you blew that. So we went to the guy. The guy in gaming, Leighton, and said, could you help us? And he said, challenge accepted. And so we're doing it. We are starting an online gaming outpost aimed at, one, encouraging gamers that are doing ministry in the space. Number two, exploring new ideas, new platforms. 3, testing out new techniques, experimenting with new ideas. And number 4, encouraging those that are doing ministry there. We want to see a movement of people in gaming space. Twitch, MMO video games, virtual reality, any place that you can do community, I believe there's an opportunity to be the church in that space. I don't know that you can really do community in, Fortnite. I mean, somebody can prove me wrong, but yeah, you can do a Bible study in over 40 minutes if you're running around trying not to get killed. So I'm not saying every video game, but where you can have ongoing community, where you can build relationships, let's do it. Let's go. And I am excited about Flat Cap leading out. I had a conversation with Andy today. We are excited about that. Andy's going to be coming along. I'm already recruiting volunteers here or there, talking with people about it and teasing it. And so if you want to get connected, hook up with Leighton in Discord or in Twitch. Discord or in WhatsApp and do that. And let's get connected. I have Stacy. I have no idea what this is. Please continue to share lessons learned from her. What did I say with her? That's awkward. I just called you up publicly. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. I didn't read that. I was like, love the lessons, but then I saw the her and I was like, I'm not sure what that is. Number 19. I'm learning stuff. Okay. I am learning stuff about myself. In this season, and I'm calling myself on it here a little bit. By the way, I'm doing I'm at 2 hours. This is great. You got to go, stick around, whatever. I love it. I'm learning about myself. I did it this year again. I gave up on this. I was really doing this before a lot, and Jason Morris invited me in to do it again, to try it a different way, and for whatever reason, I have a little more energy this time around. And so I'm doing a Bible reading plan through YouVersion, the app. And I've got, Leighton, 25. Leighton's not in that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to look who's on here. Stacy, I can't remember. I don't think anybody on the stream's on this. There's maybe 25, 26 people. Kiwi was going to be on there, but he didn't sign up. And so, but I've got 25, 26 people going through that with us. And it's different this time around, man. This is the first reading plan that I've read, that I've tried. I've tried this before, where you read like 3 or 4 chapters a day and you go through the entire Bible in 365 days. To be honest, I've tried it, and I usually get to like Leviticus and Numbers, and I just want to I'm done. I can't. Or, I get distracted and other times, and it's not a priority. And so I've given up in past years, even attempting. I think last year I recruited 40 people to do this. It was crazy, the amount of people that I had signed up to go on this with us. And then I think I didn't make it through week 1. I'm out. Peace. So I got to this place with going with JMO. And it's really refreshing this round. I've got my wife. I've got both my kids. My wife and I were having a conversation last night talking about Job. And it's been refreshing, doing it together. And so, but in that, I'm learning about myself. I'm learning, what I'm strong at and where I'm weak. And, it's interesting. I've actually, Stacy has used this language with me. I wrote a 4-page script on something, and I sent it to ChatGPT, and I said, shorten this and make it more rebel-y or rebel-like, I think, because that's often what I'll do with ChatGPT. I'll make ChatGPT get my angst up. It's a little secret, and it does a great job. But ChatGPT used the same language, and I went back through my script, and I never used this language. And ChatGPT and Stacy and others have said, know your lane. And so it's like, okay, I know my lane. And just to be honest, like I'm a very aggressive in some areas, but my weak area, if I'm honest, gets into areas like what I'm going to hit you here with 19 and 20. 19, the Church Digital historically, really, I would not say has been a gospel-centered organization. Now, yes, I mean the gospel, Great Commission, the purpose of Jesus and all of that. And I don't want to be dismissive or demeaning towards it, but historically, I'm not the guy that's going to write a fluffy rhetoric about Christ in my life. Like I'm going to tell a story or something like that, but for whatever reason, I'm I'm not a pastor. I'm not a preacher. That's not my skill set. And so I'm more of the apostolic than I am the shepherd, and I'm not a teacher at all. And so for me, it's been hard to get that in. And now we've started to involve some others in talking APEST. Those of you that are going through EDM are going to get into APEST here in a couple weeks. But now we start to bring in the APEST model of apostolic, I just prophet, evangelist, shepherd, teacher, and the role of each of those functions within the organization, within the team, and within our body, the people we're ministering to, and bringing out their skill sets and their wirings and giftings and drivings towards that. I'm recognizing that as an organization, historically, the Church Digital has lacked in showing or communicating the idea of gospel-centered. And that's going to fix in 25. We are going to change that in 25. 2025, we are going to come out and address the idea. We will be more gospel-centered, one. And two, I would love to figure out what a gospel-centered digital church looks like and start to maybe reflect those ideas and values on all of us so that we cannot be apostolic driven, but get to the place of being gospel led. That I don't think we are yet. Call me crazy. Maybe you are. And if you are, if you have experience, if you have understanding, if you have a vision for this that I'm not seeing, I would love to get into that. But there's an opportunity to be more than apostolic here. You know, as I'm listening to hardcore tech, it's really loud in my ears. That's why I keep coming back to it. I keep turning it down. Maybe it's not loud where you are. That's good. But we want to get to the place. I'm going to hit the skip button. Go on to the next one. We want to get to the place where we're representing those values, where the gospel is not a thing in the church, but it is the thing in the church. And I don't know that we're there yet. So number 18, 19, gospel centered. Number 20 in that same thread, prayer centric. What does it look like for us as a church, as a culture, as missionaries, to be centered and grounded in prayer? Where are our decisions, where our values, where our judgments, where our motivations are prayer led? I'm not that. I don't have that wiring. That's not my default. That's the way I want to say it. That's not my default. I can be prayer centered, but when crap hits the fan, I go into fix it mode. I don't go into God, what do I do in this moment mode. And that's some of the things that I want to work on at a personal level, at a organizational level. And I maybe want to encourage you. Maybe you got this fixed. Maybe you got this figured out. And if so, I'd love to learn from you. What does a prayer-centric digital missionary look like? What does a prayer-centric digital church look like? Virtual reality church. You know, it's interesting. There was during COVID, let me try to think on the stat. I don't think I could pull the number. During COVID, Alpha did some, flat cap, I'm going to use you for a second. So excited about the prayer adventure and that challenge. Alpha did some report with Barna as part of Barna's digital church. Stadia did something, And then Stadia worked with Barna on Digital Church. Then somebody stepped in and did something on something, digital evangelism maybe. And then Barna and Alpha did digital prayer. But the major point was that lost people called to Christ, they wanted to be prayed for digitally. I don't remember the stats, I don't remember the numbers, but that was the takeaway, is that lost people during the COVID season were open to the idea of being prayed for digitally. To me, one of the greatest losses in COVID was that we didn't pray more digitally and use that as an opportunity to connect and to dialogue with people and involve them in community. And I don't want to be like, hey, prayer is the opportunity. I don't want to cheapen prayer by saying it's at the connection level, it's shallow and superficial. I'm not saying that. But I think if prayer is the thread that goes all the way through, if prayer is centric to everything, it's a different thing. And that's what I'm aiming for. We've got some feedback coming in. Greg Saldy, number 19, gospel-centered. I've always been impressed in how specifically Global South folks seem to always be gospel-led and not lost in the details. Talking South America, everybody beneath the equator. Number 2, getting together and praying has changed our ministry so much. Greg, would love to offline with you. DM me. Let's talk about it in Discord. You're in Discord, I think. So, yeah, would love to get with you on that. What's interesting, Greg, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You're in France, Spain, Western Europe, I believe. And so, global perspective. Promise 26, not in the script. We will learn, the U.S. church will learn from the global church during the church digital. That's big right there. No, Stacy here. I've learned from some friends who have added so that new disciples are made at the end of the mission statement, of their mission statement. Yeah. I want to get to the place where the disciples are making disciples. Generational. That's Promise 27, that we will be generational, that we will see our children multiply. Not in that way, but yeah, we want to see generation. I want to meet people whose lives were changed by the church digital, who would say, who is this Jeff guy? It's not about me. I was yeah, I'll tell the story. There's a disciple material, I call it a movement, called Timothy Initiative. This comes out of it actually started overseas, as I recall. I think it was like a China, East Asia thing, material that was developed for there, and then it was ported over into America in different languages, and now it's like this global movement. And I met the CEO way before I was doing anything with the Church Digital. This is back in like 2015, 2016. And he, the CEO, the founder of the Timothy Initiative, I just shared with him the ideas of digital, and he and I built a casual relationship. Like, I would reach out to him every 6 months or a year, or I'd see him at a conference and have a 10-minute conversation with him. Nothing fancy. But I started texting him with the Giving Tuesday thing, inviting him to the Giving Tuesday and New Year's, and he started encouraging me. And I told him, I was like, yeah, we're well, I'm excited about the new year. How can I pray for Timothy Initiative? And he's like, Jeff, our goal is to train 180,000 missionaries in 2025. Could you imagine training 180,000 people on how to share the gospel? I remember him telling a story on a podcast. I think it was the church planning podcast that the CEO of Stadia does, where this man talked about when he was a physical church pastor. He was a lead pastor at a church in Alabama for like 5 years. Then he was lead pastor at a church in whatever for 6 years. So he had 11 years as lead pastor at 2 physical churches. And he went and he added up all of those churches, the people that got saved. the lives that were changed, A, in through the Sunday morning services, and B, what was documented from like friends of friends and whatever, all the growths and the baptisms that happened within the two churches that he worked at in that lifespan in those 11 years. And the number was interesting. I mean, he's a good pastor, he's a good preacher. And so there's life change from that. Then he went and he added up all the numbers that within 1 year of Timothy initiative of a disciple making, where it's disciples making disciples, the multiplication model. So growth model, 11 years, 1 year of multiplication model. 1 year blew it away like in 3 months. Like it was crazy. And that's the thing. If we can get to the place where new disciples are made and disciples are making disciples, multiplying that through, that's beautiful. I was wrong. Well, actually, I think it's in Spain or France. Greg says France, catching up on that, so that's good. Stacy, let's get on to prayer-centric life. Yeah, I need this is where I need to learn. I need to know my lane and realize that my lane's not the lane. Or Elaine, as in Elaine with Seinfeld. Oh man, that was a bad cut. We talking about cut. Somebody cut that out. Cut that out. That was bad too. Man, I'm showing my age. I'm literally talking 75 minutes here. I'm running out of stuff. Me going straight here, just vamping. All right, this was supposed to be number 20. Now it's 21. I made a mistake somewhere. I'll go ahead and do it. Number 21. This would have been cooler if it was number 20. You'll see in a second. Talking about multiplication, talking about disciples making disciples, talking about empowering ministry at a global scale. The Church Digital promises. This might also get me fired, but the good news is y'all play a part in this one. Like, if this is going to happen, it's going to be you. If we are going to, if we're going to see 21 happen, we need your help. Because the 21st promise of the Church Digital for 2025 is that we will have 20,000 gospel conversations in 2025. Simply put, said another way, we want to see digital missionaries share Jesus digitally or in virtual reality 20,000 times. Technically, I said I wanted to be 20,025 times in 2025. You know, well, first off, I think it's important what I'm asking us to do. And I say us because I play a role in this too, right? I'm asking us to have the conversation. I'm not asking for 20,000 salvations. I've actually worked for organizations and churches that put the number on salvations and we're judging salvations. That's not our job. That's God's. That's the Holy Spirit. It's not my job to make someone accept Christ. It's my job to present, to give them the opportunity, to help them understand. If they're not receptive, that's between them and God. So what I'm actually asking for, and Flat Cap wrote the number out so graciously, 20,025 conversations about Jesus with 20,025 people in 2025. We want to see life change happen, y'all. And Jeff, that's hard. Well, here's the reality. We want to equip one of our goals, another goal as an organization. We want to equip 200 digital missionaries this year. If 200 digital missionaries who share Jesus twice a week across the year, 50 weeks, that's 20,000 right there. 2 conversations with people about Jesus a week. I don't mean to minimalize it. I don't mean to cheapen it. It's an opportunity. What could God do if we had 20,000 conversations with people about Jesus? What could God do as that grows and expands? That's the thing that I'm excited about. Yes, I'm excited about where we are today and what's going to happen in 25. I'm excited about where 25 is going to take 26 and where 26 is going to take 27. and where 27, 28, and what it's going to be looking like, a decade or two down the road when, somebody's texting me, man, we're just starting out on this movement. I'm really excited. And how can I pray for you? And I can say something like, oh man, our goal is to train 180,000 digital missionaries this year for the Church Digital. We got to start somewhere. And right now, you all at the ground level. So, hey, you know what? What do you need? You need 2 conferences. You need us to do 2 digital conferences on how you can be more effective as a digital missionary. Please, I'll do that. No problem. You want? Oh, I was about to give away what was coming up. I was about to give it away. I'm not going to. You need resources. You need connection. You need help getting funding. What do you need? Because I want to make it easy for you, so that you can do the thing that the kingdom needs. Get out there and tell others about Jesus digitally. This is beautiful, Leighton. Leighton is excited about this stuff, man. He is jacked up. What is God already planning through these conversations? Well said, my friend. So goal number 21, 20,000 gospel conversations in 2025. All right, goal number 22. Goal number 22, promise number 22, better way to say that, I'm sorry. Promise number 22, stats and stories centered around digital missionary work. We are, part of the research that we're doing is we're trying to collect and assemble facts of what's happening in global space digitally. We're recognizing opportunities. We're hearing murmurs. We're not seeing trends yet. And so we're just, the stats guy, the researcher in me is, we're looking for quantitative numbers and we're looking for qualitative stories of what's happening in the digital mission space. And so, yeah, we're going to be collecting them, which means we're going to be telling them, we're going to be sharing them. We want to encourage you about what's happening. And so if you get something awesome that's happening, we want to hear about it. Let us know. Share it with us. So, number 22, rolling here. We want to collect and share stats and stories centered around digital missionary work. Number 23, we're going to be doing 4 town hall meetings. I really we did a town hall back in September announcing the move to a digital missionary sending agency. I don't know. I don't think the team can handle another 4 radical shifts, organizational shifts, like moving to a digital missionary sending agency. I don't think I can pull that off 4 times in 25. Don't hear me say that. But I will promise you that we're going to gather together and we're going to listen. We're going to dialogue in that team hall, in that town hall model. We want to hear from you in that. So stay tuned. We're going to hear from you. 4 town hall meetings, 2, 3, 4 town hall meetings in 2025. 2, 3, 4, 5. You kind of get the joke that's happening there with that. Tall, skinny Kiwi. I look forward to hearing more hopeful rumors of what's happening out of Asia. I have heard some incredible things coming out of Asia. There was a couple people that we were connected with at Lausanne that were talking a lot about what's happening in Asia. 24, the 24th promise for the Church Digital in 2025. 24th TCD promise for the Church Digital in 2025. I am going to probably get myself in trouble for this one too. Well, okay, I'll put an asterisk on it because I can promise one. I don't know that I can promise the second half. We'll see. The first half, I promise, we're going to do another Giving Tuesday live stream. That for me was almost a conference into itself. I actually considered not doing a second conference in the fall and just doing the Giving Tuesday as exhausting, but as cohesive and as bringing together an event it was. Doing that 12-hour live stream was beautiful. I think it brought I mean, yeah, it brought funding to TCD, and I'm thankful for that. Hear me. But it more than the funding, it brought awareness to what was happening at a larger scale. I've seen people get connected with digital churches and virtual churches off of watching my stream. Like, I've had friends get connected into other ministries as a result of it. Stories that I can tell you directly, and I know it happened in other spaces too. And so I am very excited to do another Giving Tuesday live stream. 24 done. 24B. I really want this. I'm not sure I can say it, but I'm going to say it, and then somebody's going to hold me to it, and that's why we'll do it. But I don't know that I have it in me. I want to do a 24-hour live stream. Actually, you know what? It's 2025. I want to do a 25-hour live stream. I was really convicted by this. I reached out to some of my friends over in Oceania, inviting them to the stream to be a part of it. And I got some text back from my Australian and New Zealand friends, basically saying, "Hey Jeff, like, we're only like conscious 1 hour of that stream. It really is just an unfortunate time you picked to do the stream." And like, I'm actually curious. Is it 7 a.m. right now? And Tuscany's on. So, I mean, it was an exaggeration, but the time was very limiting. Once you get in, time zones are awful, globally. I get that. I do think there's an opportunity to do a 24-hour live stream that's drawing attention to the work that the Church Digital is doing globally. Like, I would love to do a live stream for our Oceania friends and let them, recruit and draw attention to the ministry they're doing in Oceania, or Southeast Asia, or Europe, or Sub-Saharan South Africa. Like, we multiply these ideas down and see them expand. Yes, at the local level, because that's where the time is, but we're telling the same story at some level globally. Flatbeard, we should start the minute the day starts at the dateline. That's in the Atlantic, right? That's where it goes out there. So yeah, that'd be interesting. Tall, skinny Kiwi, reading it from the 25-hour live stream, sponsored by Starbucks, Jolt Cola, and Red Bull. Yeah, Red Bull gives you wings. I would, I want to asterisk this conversation. I am not intending to be on camera. Jeff Reed is not intending to be on camera for 25 hours. Jeff Reed is intending to have a 25-hour stream happen. That, hey, let me hand off to Simon in Europe, and then disconnect for 2 hours while Simon runs the stream, or something like that. As a team, we're wrestling through it. I pitched the idea. I did. Hey, what do you think about this? Some people loved it. Some people were really excited about the idea of a 25-hour stream. Some people, not so much. We will make it a much more interesting stream. It's not just going to be me talking for 12 hours. Is Jolt Cola still around? That's a great question, Melanie. It is. I saw it at a novelty shop this Christmas. It was a pop-up candy store, and they had like all rare candy and all types of the old-fashioned drinks and that. And Jolt Cola is still around. I'm sure it's not at the major supermarkets, but yeah, you can still get it. I don't know if this will be posted somewhere, but I think it would be good to use it as a prayer prompt through the year. It is. Stacy, I appreciate that. I'm gonna write this as a blog. We'll probably get it published next year. It may be a filtered version. I don't think I'll filter it. I think we're going to let it roll. I think it's good for us to pray about it. B, the reason I wanted to do this is accountability. I wanted to be, this is what I'm thinking. And I wanted to say it on public record and let others join me in praying, join me in helping, burn the ships. Let's go towards it. What I Okay, the prayer-centric guy in me is saying, okay, Jeff, I didn't sit over this prayer list and pray about it for hours. But I would say that the idea of 2 conferences is something we've been mulling over for years. Like 22. I stepped out of Stadia and was like, hey, there's an opportunity here to step into something. We didn't have the focus. We were too distracted, and we couldn't get all the hemispheres to play together. Simplifying, honestly, it was clarifying. Which is another reason. Niche casting is so much better than broadcasting. Find your audience, target it, reach it. Like it's not rocket science. 2 hours and 30 minutes, 1 hour and 30 minutes, 90 minutes on the stream, 2:30 Eastern time. And I made it to number 25. I am like dripping in sweat. I know that's gross. You don't want to hear that, but like it's been hard work. I got the lights down. My coffee is cold. My salad is uneaten. Maybe I'll eat that. I don't know that it's fresh anymore. Does salad dressing go bad like in 2 hours? I don't think so, right? Like it should still be fresh. Somebody put in chat, am I gonna get sick if I eat this? It's been sitting out on the desk for a couple hours. It's got, I don't know, it's not oil, it's something a little more creamy. And so the milk in there has got me a little worried. We'll figure it out. Food poisoning. The God-given diet. No, I'm kidding. Don't. Leighton's going to clip that. That's going to go out there. 25. We have gone through 25 TCD promises for 2025. We're at the 25th right now. Oh my gosh, I'm so tempted to we'll do it. We'll just read off the list. Number 1, more mind-blowing concepts from the TCD team. Number 2, more connection points. Number 3, new communities with new focus. Number 4, new formats for EDM. Number 5, new cohorts beyond EDM. Number 6, outposts for everyone. Number 7, game time with Jeff. Number 8, resourcing, more resources, more streams, more voices than Jeff. Number 9, more open offices, more voices than Jeff. Number 10, spanning the care of a digital missionary. Number 11, reliant for financial support. Number 12, more ongoing and growing support from missional partners and TCD central staff, central support. Number 13, tangible resourcing. We want to start helping you even if you're not in the network. Number 14, understanding of contextualization of places. Number 15, understanding contextualization of platforms. Number 16, we're doing an online conference spring 25. Number 17, we're doing an online conference fall 25. Number 18, did someone say gaming? Gaming Outpost opening soon. Number 19, gospel-centered. Number 20, prayer-centric. Number 21, 20,000 gospel conversations in 25. Number 22, stats and stories centered around digital missionary work. Number 23, 4 town hall meetings in 25. Number 24, another Giving Tuesday live stream. Number 24B, a 24-hour live stream. And number 25, well, having said all that, I'm sure there's going to be more changes and surprises. I'm sure. Yeah, I copped out on 25. That's what I do. I just make changes. And so you can pray for me. You can pray for the team that's wrestling with this. But there will be pivots, I'm sure, along the way. So you can take that as a promise as we're going to wrap up. Y'all, I hope this was fun. I had a blast with it. It's exciting. We will edit out. We'll maybe edit out. I'm not sure if we're going to, but I will never play this soundtrack again. This has not been a pleasurable experience for me with this rattling around in my head. Hopefully it has not been that bad for you listening to it. Too heavy. I need something a little gentler. This is why you should listen to stuff in advance. You should test the waters before you roll something out. Tech check. I failed the tech check. To be honest, I was taking a nap when I should have been tech checking. My dog's asleep right over there on the couch where I was asleep like 3 hours ago. It was good though. It was a good nap. It's good coffee. Salad needs to, get looked at. Hey y'all, be praying, in all seriousness, be praying for the Church Digital, as we're praying for you heading into 25. I hope that this time has been encouraging for you at the at the inner level, just encouraging you to your core. We want to be an encouragement for you, but more than just an advocacy group, we want to make a difference in the life of your ministry. And so if there are ideas you have that were not listed in our 25 promises, we want to hear from you. Chances are we'll do it in 25, if not 26, because in the end, we want to see you succeed so the next generations can succeed as well. And whether that's equipping you, training you, or whether that's praying for you, whether that's giving you the opportunity to come alongside someone for accountability, we want to see God do incredible things through the ministry that He has called you to do. So I am going to take this moment. I'm going to pray, and we are going to wrap. Heavenly Father, God, thank you for this opportunity to laugh, to talk, to share, to cast vision, and to pray for the road ahead. God, I pray that that you would do something in us and through us in 25. Bring us more awareness of our strengths and weaknesses. Give us the opportunity to stay in our lane. Give us the opportunity to partner, connect with others, to bring more attention to you. God, help be at the center of all that we are in our digital churches, in our digital ministry. So often it's easy to lose God inside of the work in front. I attest to that. I recognize that. I've lived that in my life. But God, I simply ask that you come alongside us, that you come in us and through us, and that you are all that we are. You are baked into everything that we are. God, we love you. Thank you for what you've already done through us. We look forward to what you have for us very soon. In your name we pray. Amen. All right, that's a wrap. Thanks, y'all. Have a good one.